So I've been called every name in the book, scoundrel, thief, crook, just because of what I do, just because I'm a reseller. Hey, it's Don. Today I wanted to talk about the elephant in the room, the one comment that I hear more than anything else, whether I'm out in the wild or I'm online or wherever I'm at, it's that resellers are basically thieves and crooks ripping people off. It's the common statement I hear from so many people. Now, I'm just doing what any big business does out there. They buy something dirt cheap, they do something with it, and then they resell it to us at a substantial markup. Sometimes it's 700%, 1,000%. Sometimes it's even more than that, the percentage of profit they're making off of these items, whatever it may be. Whether it's a shirt that they have $2.20 landed here in this country into it, or electronics where they have $50 landed into it, and then they're selling them for some phenomenal amounts of money. I do the exact same thing. Another comment that I hear all the time is that I buy something knowing it's worth a lot of money, but yet I don't pay the people who I'm buying it from very much for the items. Now, if you go to a store, a retail store, a department store, and they have something on clearance and it's $10, let's say, and you know that item you can sell right this very second on eBay for $120. Are you going to offer to give them, that department store, that $120 for that item, even when they're only asking $10 for it? That's the same basic principle, the exact same thing. And again, every business out there buys cheap, whether they process it or just bring it to the public. They're making a huge profit for not putting too much effort into it most of the time. So there's no real difference between what I do as a reseller, or you do, or anybody else does out there. If you're flipping stuff, you're paying what somebody's asking for it. There's no problem with what you're doing. It's not being a crook, a thief, a charlatan of any sort. You are running a legitimate business just like any other business does. You buy something to make a profit. Now, if, let's say, the item's worth $1,000 and they've got $2 on it and you don't want to pay $2 for it, that's pretty chintzy. I don't do stuff like that. I still would pay the $2 for a $1,000 record, though. It's my experience, my years and years and years of invested time and energy that I have into this that allows me to know what that item is worth. I've got a ton of investment into knowledge, into study, and into buying records to know that that's an expensive record. Some other reseller could come by it and not have a clue, and he could have possibly, or she could have been reselling for years and years and years. It's specific experience. My time, my investment is worth something when I'm buying something. It's why I can buy something and make a profit to begin with, because I've spent years doing this to learn what I'm doing, to learn what's worth what. Most people don't know that. If they're listing it or offering it for $10 and I pay $10, but it's worth more, again, I'm not doing anything wrong, and neither are you. We're just following along, paying them what they asked for. Now, I might even counter and ask if they'd take $8 on that $10 item, even knowing that it may be a $1,000 record or whatever it may be. There's nothing wrong with that either. You're saving, you're trying to get your cost as low as you can. As a business, that is your job. 100% of the time, you are needing to get your cost as low as possible. That's how business works in general. It's just the way things are. The business's goals are to get their costs down. And that's what your goal should be as well, regardless of it. You've got overhead. Even if you're making $900, there's overhead involved in that. You've got to pay fees. You've got to list it. You're taking the risk. There is a risk to sell anything online. You could get taken. That could be lost in the mail. So even if you spend $10, you could lose that money if, say, eBay decides for the buyer if it doesn't show up, or you didn't insure it, or some other oddball thing happens. So there is always a risk, even if it's a $900 item. It's a bigger risk than if it's just a few dollars. So we're taking all the risks. You, me, everybody out there is taking the risk to sell what we do. We're taking all responsibility for that as well. The minute you list something, it is your responsibility if there's something wrong. Let's say that item was stolen. You're responsible for selling stolen goods. Even if you didn't know it, you could still be held accountable for something like that. It was too good of a price when you bought it. You should have known better. It's one of those things you will hear and see happens actually in this industry. So regardless of the cost of the item, you are responsible. It's all on you. You've got to do every aspect of it. If it's something big and heavy and fragile, it's on you again to ship it and pack it. A lot of people would probably rather just have the money or some sort of money than deal with it. It may never sell as well. Even if you look something up on eBay and you see a few sales histories on something, it doesn't mean another person will be around to even buy it. There's time to photograph it. There's time to list it. There's all this investment in it that we take the responsibility on. I never truthfully feel guilty at all if I buy something and make a lot of money on it. Again, that's just what I do. That's my business. I'm legally buying it. I'm not breaking any laws whatsoever. Some people say there's a moral necessity here for you to tell the person what it's worth. But where does that end and where does that start? People wouldn't do it at a grocery store if, let's say, they have something priced wrong and it's well under what it's worth, or at a department store when it's in clearance. No one ever says anything or has an issue with that. A normal person selling something at a garage sale for $5 or something when it's worth hundreds, again, it's the same basic principle. They have the same ability to look up everything that I'm going to buy from them prior to me ever buying it. If they're not going to take the extra effort to look that up, that is on them, in my personal opinion. That's not being mean. That's not being a cutthroat business person here. That's just playing by the rules of the game. I don't cut people off. I don't try to undercut people at a sale. I buy it legit and off I go. Sometimes I make a ton of money. Sometimes I don't. It's all, again, on me to see and know what I'm doing. If the other person doesn't know what they're doing, that is on them. Again, it's an equal playing field with everything that's out for sale. Everybody has the opportunity to look up everything very easily. If it's something that's sold on eBay, you can instantly see what they have been selling for at any given day or night right on eBay itself. You can see what it would sell for. When I go to some sales actually have a printout stating that this goes for this price on eBay and this is what they want for it. Usually don't mess with that stuff, but I do see that quite often. So enough people are aware that you can look up prices, so it should be up to them to look up the prices before they sell something. Some of the items I buy, I actually buy from other pickers, from other resellers, from flea market guys who've been doing this for years. They'd rather take half of the cost of the item in many cases just to get the money coming in and not have to deal with any of the eBay aspect of it. As some of us who've been doing this for a long time knows, you can get taken for hundreds if not thousands of dollars on an item if something goes wrong and eBay sides with the buyer. So again, any of those expensive items that I sell is always a risk for us. If I lose the money, even though I only have a few bucks into it, I've got time, energy, all kinds of other stuff blown on an item that I'm not going to make any money on. So we're not crooks, we're not thieves, we're not charlatans trying to take someone's money. That's not what this is about. All I'm doing is selling basically antiques and collectibles online. Stuff that has been sold in a store for decades, for 100+ years at this point, the exact same way I'm buying and selling right now. It's just online. But anyway, that's what I have for you today. Hopefully that gave you some ideas and some thoughts. If you enjoyed this video, please hit that like button down below. You can also hit the bell icon to be notified if I post new content or go live. Subscribe and tell all your friends.
Sometimes you feel like a nut, sometimes you don't. Almond Joy's got nuts, Mounds don't. Almond Joy's got real milk chocolate, coconut and munchy nuts too. Mounds got deep dark chocolate. nut. Ooh. Sometimes you feel like a nut, sometimes you don't. Peter, Paul, almond joys got nuts. Peter, Paul, mounds don't.
Because
Sometimes you feel like a nut, sometimes you don't.